Welcome on, welcome all. It is a Friday night. It is a full spectrum of sports this week, and it's been a long fucking week for everyone involved in this show. Welcome. This is The Regulars. I'm Cody Decker.
I'm Tanya Ray Fox.
Tanya, how's life with you?
This week has actually sucked to the point where when we were meeting before the show, I was like, you were like, oh, well, we're going to have a great Friday show. And I was like, oh, it's Monday. Mm-hmm. You mix up maybe a Thursday and a Friday and a Saturday, maybe a Monday and a Tuesday.
You thought today was Monday. That's how shitty your week has been, which I was kind of baffled by.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm glad you've somehow survived the week, somehow thinking it was Monday. I don't know how you could have possibly thought yesterday was the weekend, but then again, this week has felt like, I don't know,
I think
a century.
I think I was working under the assumption that time had stopped, it was irrelevant, and that's I wasn't even thinking about what day it is anymore, and then I just assumed it because it felt like an awful day. It didn't feel like a Friday. I just was like, oh, it must be a Monday show.
I'm very sorry you've had an awful day and week, but it's going to be a better week. A lot of crazy things going on all over the place. Next week, we're probably going to be doing the shows on Tuesday and Thursday next week, and trust me, there are reasons for that, and we're very excited to talk to you guys about the reasons. And yes, following that, of course, is are these glasses the sweetest glasses you've ever seen? The answer is yes, you're welcome. Tanya kind of challenged me in my glass eyewear today, so I decided to go full on fucking straight rocket man.
You made a really good point that because you don't have hair, your glasses are your hair. They're the statement piece of your face, your head.
Yes.
That and the beard, the manicured beard. And as is my hair, my fake hair.
Yes.
So we both have manufactured things.
By the way, I told her I got some new glasses. Mocha's in the room. Mocha, I told her I got new glasses today. She's like, why do you need more glasses? I'm like, you get to have fucking hair. Why can't I have glasses?
He's like, you have your hair. I have my glasses.
And she immediately, and I mean this, it's the first time I've ever seen her just fucking mouth went shut, and she goes like, you got it. Yeah, I have lost this debate before the fight even started.
It wasn't even a debate really, because
oh no, I felt one coming. I felt one coming.
It never got to that point.
Oh, I know, because I threw my finishing maneuver on you on the get go. I jackknife powerbombed Bob Backlund within 5 seconds.
To be fair, I wasn't asking why you were getting new glasses. I was asking, you have a crazy whole system of getting your. You were like, okay, well, I've got to get the frames here, and then they're shipped to there, and they're going to New York, and there's where they do the frames. Very high class, high quality and long-term system. And I was simply curious as to why you were taking it.
Just feel the weight. Just feel the weight of those.
I could barely hold them up.
Yes, thank God you work out. You wouldn't be able to carry these bad boys. All right. Listen, we got a lot of sports to get to. And as you know, the idea of this show and how this show kind of runs, it is not exactly the happiness when it comes to the world of sports.
We can be. If there's something great.
No, we have moments.
We would love that.
We have plenty of moments where we get into the good side of the stories. We try to always end you on a good note, but we do like to get into the deep and gritty details of certain things, and we often get into the gritty and detailed, I don't know, muck when it comes to PAs, ownerships. A lot of times follow the money type of conversations we have on this show. And unfortunately today, for headline number one, this is follow the money, follow the money, follow the money, and then some.
It's actually, the reason I honestly wanted this at the beginning of the show, at any point in time, we do the show together, we produce it together, but I usually put down the rundown, and if there's something we need to rearrange, of course we will.
Of course.
But the reason I wanted this off the top of the show is because I genuinely think this is one of the biggest stories in sports right now, and nobody outside of Pablo Torre, as per usual, is talking about it. And this was a massive sort of groundbreaking interview that he did with the former head of the NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith. Because it was Pablo Torre who broke or kind of got his hands on and published the 61-page finding from the arbitration in an NFLPA collusion case. And the findings came down a couple weeks ago, courtesy of Torre and to some extent Mike Florio. And what ended up happening was it revealed essentially that the arbitration, the judges in that situation had basically said, we know you tried to, we can see, there's evidence, we have all this evidence that was in discovery that you tried to collude against quarterbacks from getting guaranteed money. And we just can't prove it. So technically the NFLPA lost that case, that collusion case. But there's two things there. That is kind of controversial on its own. But what DeMaurice Smith and Pablo Torre revealed in this exceptionally long and detailed interview was that not only did that happen, but the NFLPA itself, led by J.C. Tretter, who has his own sordid past, tried to cover up the results and the findings of that case. And that is, we have double collusion.
Yeah, that's
Cody.
more than collusion. That's, so you know how they say, the old attaché that the cover-up is always the thing that gets you. It's not the crime. It's the cover-up of the crime that usually gets you. So this is the NFL getting caught colluding. And this is why it's such a baffling thing. It's not that the cover-up began. I would almost be shocked that there wasn't a cover-up that began. It's who's behind the cover-up and who's involved with the cover-up. And holy shit, as someone that's been part of a Major League Baseball PA and seeing what professional sports PAs are compared to what the ownerships are, to hear that your head of your PA is the one that helped the NFL bury this thing is so mind-numbingly baffling to me. It's also very eye-opening to me exactly why the NFLPA is nowhere near the strength of the Major League Baseball PA. Because if this guy is, if the call's coming from inside the house and it's from the big boss from inside no one's safe. That is as ugly as it humanly gets. This guy's job is to safeguard you from that league. He's a double agent, man. That is as bad as it fucking gets.
And I'll tell you what, that's exactly what he is. They installed him for that very reason. And here's the really frustrating part is DeMaurice Smith, you gotta watch this interview if you have not, because it just gives you such an insight into the fact that like standard operating procedure in the NFL is collusion. Yeah. And DeMaurice Smith is the head of the NFLPA, and I'm sure good NFLPA leaders sort of spend their entire career, their entire time in that role, trying to snuff out and stop collusion. That's so it's not even just, it goes all the way back for him, all the way to the CBA negotiations in 2011 when the NFL colluded with their broadcast partners to secure themselves $4 billion in case there was a lockout. They would have $4 billion to spread amongst the NFL owners for stadium costs, which is a direct violation of the CBA. You cannot collude to get money from a broadcast where there are obviously where you're splitting the profits with the players, keep profits for yourself and then collude against the players, because essentially they said, well, this will give us leverage. This is, by the way, laid out in documents they have in Discovery that we know they did this. They had slideshows about it. If we have this $4 billion, it's safeguard for us, gives us leverage over the NFLPA and over the players to stall negotiations because we have our costs covered. Stealing money from the players, essentially. Yeah. So he's been dealing with this all the way since then. And I think there was, so he was actually DeMaurice Smith was who filed this case on behalf of Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and Russell Wilson. In 2023, I think, or about 2023, right before he was out from that position. So he filed it, but he wasn't the one who saw it through. Now, the case itself claimed essentially that obviously all the owners had colluded to stop them from getting guaranteed money. We have proof that happened because we have the Roger Goodell, I forget if it was written or if it was a slideshow or whatever it was, the thing he presented to the owners that said, we've got to stop this guaranteed money. The question is, why did it begin here with the Deshaun Watson case when there are now 3 black quarterbacks who are, who are trying to negotiate new deals? The other thing that they discovered in here, which was a massive smoking gun, was a letter or an email, because all these motherfuckers put everything in writing. I don't know why. Feels like you should know by now not to, but they do. From the owner of the Cardinals to the owner of the Chargers. Yeah. I believe it was. Or it might have been the Chargers to the Cardinals. I think it was. Either way. It was a letter, email where they were like, yeah, we were able to get away with low money, blah, blah, blah. And them all admitting that he colluded to get Kyler Murray's guaranteed money down. And they were like, all right, this is perfect. The Browns really screwed us on this, but we're going to just laid it out point blank. Right?
It's a full on playbook.
Right. And The really funny part about this is, so Deshaun Watson gets his guaranteed money. He was not the first one to get a fully guaranteed contract. The first one to get a fully guaranteed contract was Kirk Cousins, which also sent shockwaves at the time. Was like, a fully guaranteed contract for Kirk Cousins. We didn't see the same type of reaction to that across the league. And so DeMaurice Smith posits like, hey, do we go back and kind of look at how long this has been going on and at what point there was this turn and why it happened after this, but not Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And the thing that I find really the most interesting about it, Cody, is I think the reason this has become what it's become is not only because Pablo Torre got his hands on these documents that the NFLPA colluded with the NFL to cover up the collusion of.
Really insane.
But I think they flew too close to the collusion sun, handling it this way with Lamar Jackson specifically. Mm-hmm. It's one thing for Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray not to get as much guaranteed money as they wanted on their contracts. Kyler Murray still was trying to prove himself as a starting quarterback. Russell Wilson no longer fully in his prime anymore, moved on to new teams. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about objectively the best quarterback to become available to any team in a long time in Lamar Jackson, an unanimous MVP, somebody who the next 2 seasons after this was an MVP and then a MVP finalist again, to sell the general public, the NFLPA, everybody else on the idea that every single team was like, you know what, 2 first-round picks, I don't think he's worth it. It just wasn't possible. They flew too close to the sun colluding against a player of that caliber. Mm-hmm. No one was buying that. No team in the NFL wanted Lamar Jackson.
Oh, and then there was every single narrative that could be pulled out of the sun. I mean, you got them. Oh, the mom's doesn't know what she's doing because she's acting as the agent, and then all of a sudden these character issues that we know for a goddamn fact don't exist are all of a sudden coming into question. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're watching the exact same thing happen right now with the Eagles right now, and that also is a separate thing where the call is coming from inside the house because it's very clearly it's coming from Sirianni specifically. Yeah. This is getting ugly, and it's getting ugly in a way that I don't even feel comfortable with. And weirdly, I also feel like it's also playing a massive hand in this. The stupid-ass salary cap that the NFL has, that they, honest to God, should not have, period, stop. I don't understand how there is not guaranteed money in the NFL. Car crashes that are happening every 25 seconds. It's absolutely baffling.
That's exactly what DeMaurice Smith says in this interview.
Yes.
He said, you have players who they sign up to get hit by a car every single time they go out to play. So so in order to not get them paid in the way that you need to get them paid, you need to collude, because these players themselves, like, it's our job as the NFLPA to understand who we're standing up for. We're standing up for people who are signing up for a car crash every week.
And you got the NFLPA head that's keeping guys from getting their hands on guaranteed money, which, and as far as I'm concerned, I can't stress this enough. Yeah. This league should not have a salary cap. The fact that we have to play with a salary cap in the NFL is actually fucking mind-numbing. This is a league that makes more money than Major League Baseball and the NBA fucking combined. This is insane.
Do you know about the invisible salary cap that they tried to pull in the last CBA negotiation?
I don't know about that.
They did this thing where they colluded for an invisible salary cap where everybody agreed not to spend a certain amount on players to jack the player salaries down. Mm-hmm. But 2 teams, I believe it was Washington and maybe the Cowboys.
It's insane. This is the
2
ugliest
teams
shit.
Decided to spend whatever they wanted, broke the collusion. That became a whole shit show. The league wanted them to take money from players back. I mean, so the salary cap itself has its own problems, you're saying. Then they're trying to manipulate the salary cap in ways we can't even really understand.
They're trying everything they can to make sure that the players, even though the rules are very stated that the cap goes up each year, they're trying very hard every human possible way to circumvent that. Mm-hmm. But while their profits just keep continuing to skyrocket and soar, I do not think this salary cap is going up at the exact same expenditure. And also, I want to point out, they shouldn't have a fucking salary cap to begin with.
Well, the crazy part is the salary cap has doubled in the last 10 years.
Yes, it has.
It's gone up 40% in just the last 5. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're creating all of these like ways to pay quarterbacks and superstars and work around and you'll see what we didn't used to see, which people don't know, is we didn't used to see restructuring of quarterback contracts every 2 years. Mm-hmm. That was not a thing, right? Like that that's insane. Lamar Jackson had signed a quarterback and signed his contract in 2023. He's already trying to renegotiate. That's standard now. All of these things are salary cap manipulation. And the reality is the players are constantly in these memos. If you go through everything that's been shown, their goal is always to say, we don't want to pay players who aren't worth it, who aren't going to play to the level of the contract. So that's why they're always afraid of guaranteed money, because they're like, almost nobody is going to be worth the guaranteed money you give them. But the owners themselves aren't worth the money that there's no accountability for bad ownership.
Nope, not at all.
Right? So bad owners can be bad owners.
Yes.
We've seen it from the Bengals and the Browns and the Cardinals and all these teams for years and years and years. There's no accountability there. So to ever take the side of billionaires in this situation is crazy. To take the side of billionaires as an NFLPA head is full on that's just clearly dirty business.
Insane and gross.
What I really wish people understood is that if there is something that seems shady, it is almost always collusion in the NFL. They cannot operate the way that they want to. They cannot operate the way they do without it. And the reason it is so rampant and so hard to prove is because there's the NFL does not have any audit. They don't get audited.
No.
I'm not saying that as a hyperbole. They don't get audited.
They don't get audited.
There is no oversight from the Justice Department.
They oversight themselves.
Right. They are in a completely autonomous organization in that way. And so everybody's like, well, how could they get away with this? There's no oversight. The only people who hold them to any level of account are the PA. That's it.
Yeah.
And so these little moments where they have these slip ups, where they have these Robert Kraft accidentally sending an email to DeMaurice Smith saying how they colluded, not realizing he revealed it, them flying a little too close to the sun, trying to pretend the entire league doesn't want Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they're like, oh, you would have had to give up 2 first-round picks and pay him a new contract.
Oh my God.
Did you know that's normal? Yeah.
Crazy.
Do you remember how much the Lions got for Matthew Stafford at the age of 32, 33?
Listen, here's what it all comes down to. And by the way, you also said a great point in that I really, really did like, because it makes me think bad owners are just bad owners at the end of the day. Because the salary cap thing, which has always been nonsense to me to begin with, because everybody has to spend at least 90% of the salary cap anyways.
Right.
So that 90% of the salary cap is still keeping the same teams as shitty every single year in, year out. Get out of here.
Right.
And honestly, if I'm Major League Baseball, specifically if I am the Major League Baseball PA going into an upcoming CBA that everyone under the sun thinks is going to end up in a work stoppage, well, right now, 4 of the top 5 salaries in Major League Baseball are all under 500 right now.
Yeah.
And part of me wants that to continue. While the Dodgers continues to ascend, I don't want anybody to hear. I don't want to hear shit about pay disparity. It's about what you do with said money. The Dodgers allocate their money better than other teams.
Yeah.
Period. Stop. They develop better. They take care of their players better. There's a reason everyone wants to play with that team. And look, the Mets are spending just as much money practically. They're dog shit right now. The Phillies spent a ton of money. They're not very good right now either. The Toronto Blue Jays were in the World Series. They're off to a slow start. Enough. I'm tired of this. It's not about, oh my God, all of the money. Every one of these teams can pay this guaranteed contract to every single player that's underneath their umbrella, and they can do it 10 times over, especially in the goddamn NFL.
So I to wrap it up, I really do think that if you find any of this interesting, or if you actually want to know the scope of what's going on, whether you liked DeMaurice Smith or not, he was pretty litigious on behalf of NFL players, and JC Tretter and the people who have been in charge in the past, especially over this. It's really bad. You should listen to this. You should pay attention to it. I'm not telling people not to. I watch the NFL. I like the NFL. I want the NFL to be better, and I want these players to have better situations for them. A lot of people will come in my comments, Cody, and tell me well, if you hate the NFL so much, or if you know how racist and lame it is, why do you even watch? Why do you bother? Well, because I've been covering sports my entire life, and it's what I do. And we live in a system where what company can I go cover that's not a capitalist hellhole? I don't play that game.
Can I ask a question?
But I think what I do is really valid.
I agree. I have a question for you. Why are you the bad guy? Because you want fucking things to be better. That's a thing that will always baffle me.
There's a lot of anti-intellectualism, I think, in the comments where
it really
why are you even complaining?
Because we don't want it to get fucking worse, because it will.
Do you prefer turning on Fox Sports and listening to people act like it's not happening, or do you like that I bring attention to it?
I kind of want to shake these fans because they don't seem to understand how much, because this actually very much affects them. Is their goal in life to be priced out of everything that they love? Because they're being priced out of their sports. They're being priced out of ticket sales. They're being priced out of seeing games live. They're being priced out of TV packages. They're being priced out of paywalls. They're being priced out of fucking reading news about things because you have to pay for subscriptions to even read real articles at this point. They're being priced out, and it's only going to happen more if the PA gets weaker. Because if the owners just keep going willy-nilly, doing anything they fucking want, government ain't going to stop them. They're in league with the government.
Meanwhile, here I am, like a career media person with no paywall. You can go on any of my platforms, watch my shit for free, and learn about what's going on so that you actually have this information. And I'm the bad guy because I cover a league that I'm trying to show you exactly, like, it's going to exist with or without me. All the points you just made, plus if you want media transparency, if you want people talking about what's really going on, guess what I'm going to have to do? Watch and give a fuck about the league.
And you know what? You have to go very hard to find the people that are actually talking about this, because you're not going to see it talked about on FS1. You're not going to see it talked about on ESPN because they play those games. They have those contracts. They need those contracts. So they're not going to talk about it. It's Puff Piece Central. You're going to hear more about Ty Simpson and why he's the best draft ever way more times than you hear one thing about this.
You know who you heard from on ESPN on Pat McAfee's show was J.C. Treader. They had the NFLPA with his NFLPA thing on his saying Pablo Torre didn't know what he was talking about. So not only that, you're going to get the propaganda. Not only are you not going to hear what's going on, you're going to occasionally get propaganda. Now, I'm not saying everybody at those networks is always giving propaganda, but if you're going to get it, that's where you're going to get it. So, okay, stop asking me that fucking question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. There's not a single show that, like, you might get it occasionally, because we did give credit to Greeny last week with the question that he asked Roger Goodell, but I also don't want to give Greeny that much credit because this was in a godly low fucking bar, and we acted like he fucking cured cancer. Yeah. He asked him two relatively difficult questions
that he definitely cleared
with like two relative follow-ups, and they were good questions, and he answered them relatively well.
Yeah.
It'll never be fucking asked again. And we walked around going like, my God, that brave man, that is Cronkite in his prime. That's Dan Rather getting ripped out of, like, Jesus Christ. Like, guys, what has happened to all of us?
Yeah, it's bad news.
Oh, my God. Headline number 2, the NBA playoffs are fun. By the way, before we get into where the NBA playoffs are right now, good news for the NBA. The ratings for this first round are up.
Are they?
Which is fantastic. They are averaging 3.65 million viewers in this first round.
Okay.
And that's good news for a couple of reasons, because me, who's even an NBA fan, had little interest in the first round because of the matchups.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And you know what? The matchup that you and I were most excited about ended up being the worst goddamn matchup of the entire series, and all the other ones are fucking great.
Like over.
Yeah, all the other ones were fucking great. I'm like,
this is the thing, is like, at the end of the day, no matter how much you know about a league, no matter how often you cover it, talk about it, whatever else, you cannot predict sports. Like, you really can't, because there was nobody that was predicting a single one of these series going the way they've gone. Not a single. And that is, the chaos is fun. The chaos has created a world where at least the first round is cool. I do think we could land in a very dark place in these second round matchups because of the teams that we thought might actually be contenders not being them. Yes. I mean, it could get dark, or we could be surprised again. But currently where we stand is that
the Knicks, how do I put it? I mean, waxed all that ass.
It was insane.
By the way, can I tell you something? I mentioned this on Beetle and Decker today, and I would like your opinion on this, because I know we're actually excited about the NBA playoffs and everything that's going on. Can I mention one thing that we mentioned on this show that really pissed me off last night?
Please do.
Last night I went to one of my favorite restaurants, Water Grill, here in Santa Monica. You know, you've been to Water Grill with me.
Mutual fave.
It's one of our spots, man. So I go to Water Grill, and the game is on, watching the Knicks, and it's a fucking blowout. It's already like a 50-point blowout at this point. It's like barely in the third quarter.
Right.
There's another game on, and I'm looking at my phone, and I say, oh, my God, Philly's up on Boston again. Can you change the channel over to that? And he looked at me, and he said, it's on Peacock.
Yep.
The fact
I know
that you guys, and this is not just NBA, Major League Baseball, fucking quit it. Fucking NFL, you better not. A playoff game that cannot be watched at a communal bar is a goddamn problem.
Really bad.
Period.
Really bad. So Chris and I went on a rant about this because we were during college football season. There was a huge Michigan game.
Dude, embarrassing.
College football primetime Michigan game. Could not watch it at the bar. There's 4 million TVs. 4 million TVs. This wasn't even a water girl situation. We're at a place with wall-to-wall TVs. I'm like, why don't they have the Michigan game? They're like, it's on Peacock. We're in the end times. We know this. Incredibly frustrating.
Yes.
And that would have been one of those situations where it's just like, why am I even out? And that's what they want. They want individual subscriptions because communal watching means fewer subscriptions.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Dude, we have gotten to a point where, and I mean this in everything, but sports is one of the most obvious culprits. And I really am thinking that some fans are waking up. There's still too many dumb ones that are not.
Yeah.
But you need to start saying things about this at this point. You need to start using your voice and bitching about this on the threads, on the Twitters, on the thing. Because what is being done with this particular thing is absolutely fucking criminal. They are actually taking away the most important thing about sports. Sports are community. Every single sports team, even though they are an unowned IP by owners, quote unquote, that IP isn't really theirs. That IP belongs to the city and its fans. And its fans can't fucking watch the games in a community setting is really just, it's literally, when I say it's the antithesis of what sports are, I don't know what to say. We have to be fans by ourselves is fucking wild to me.
And on top of that, most of these teams in some way, shape, or form, if not entirely, are subsidized, have their stadiums, whatever else, subsidized by taxpayer money. They have their team subsidized by PSL licenses. Like all these things, like what the fuck are we doing?
We're giving you taxpayer money builds every single stadium.
But don't worry, if you want to watch the game, you can't make it into the game, right? Okay, we've paid for the stadium. I want to go watch the game near the stadium because I can't afford to go in anymore. Now I can't do that either? Mm-hmm. What the fuck are we doing?
And by the way, I saw that wonderful rollout by the Browns today of the rendering of their new state. Where the fuck do you sacks of shit get the balls to ask Cleveland for fucking anything?
I can't. It's psychotic.
The balls on you guys.
It's really bad. And then you know what they do if they don't get their money? Well, we could move to Kentucky. Or
good!
Whatever. You know what I mean?
Fucking skedaddle!
But that sucks. That fucking sucks. It's just so bad. Quickly back to basketball. I do want to say...
about that.
No, we're good. So Timberwolves eliminated the Nuggets without two of their best players.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm really upset about this.
It's actually insane. I love... the only reason I was rooting for the Timberwolves is because I love Ant. You know I love Ant,
yeah,
right?
but he's hurt.
But Ant's not playing.
Knee.
DiVincenzo...
out with the Achilles.
And they still beat the fucking Nuggets pretty soundly. And this was exactly what looked like the Nuggets were kind of struggling, and then they went on a little roll. This is bad. The Nuggets are really fucking wasting Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic said afterwards, the Nuggets are far away from a title, and he said if we were in Serbia, we would all get fired. Dead serious. He's really frustrated.
Guys,
and
if you
I
were
don't
in Serbia,
blame him.
you might all get shot.
Okay, well, let's not do that.
I didn't say by the owners and the team or the government.
Just by fans.
Those fans might fucking be wild. I don't know. I've seen fires started in those fucking stands.
I think he'd have quit basketball to do his horses by now if he was in Serbia.
He so just wants to be chariots of fire and run around his horses.
It's really bad. Like for somebody like Jokic to not be able to get out of the first round, like this is not something we saw a lot. Once Kobe, LeBron, Steph were into their primes of making and winning championships, we were not seeing this stuff. And it's starting to become a problem. I mean, Giannis has been struggling like to get things going in Milwaukee since they won their title. Mm-hmm. Same with Jokic, and it's like this is not a great sign for your like mid-tier NBA organizations when this stuff is happening. Meanwhile, the Knicks absolutely like a 51-point win is the most dominant playoff win in the history of their franchise.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like to the point where I'm like, it is starting to make me feel like none of these teams are good, and so every game is just like a crapshoot. Like it's just like how are you feeling that day? how do you feel about the Celtics going into Game 7? I mean, what
I still think the Celtics are going to win.
You?
I do. Although I would like to see them not. Just
sure.
Not because I hate the
chaos.
Celtics. chaos would be quite
you
something.
Don't hope they get their stuff together and kind of like become the team they could be just to give us potentially an NBA Finals that was worth watching? Because I mean,
I think OKC is going to boat race everybody that's in front of them.
If the Celtics don't make it through, and like let's say that it's the Knicks, the Sixers, and what would it be? I guess
Detroit or the Magic.
Magic. That's bad news, Bears, dude.
I think it's bad news Bears, period. Even with the Celtics. That's just what I think.
At the very least,
dude, the Phillies giving Celtics a run for their money.
I've never seen them do it before, so I was like, I didn't know y'all had it in you.
Listen,
Tyrese Maxey is the difference maker.
No, he's a monster, and now Joel Embiid looks like Joel all of a sudden.
Which he does. He does that occasionally.
I
He's
know.
like, hold on, wait a second. Hold on, I'm Joel Embiid.
Remember that time I won the MVP 2 years ago? Here you go.
It is like Joel Embiid's one of the most infuriating players because it's like at any point in time he could be the best player in the NBA. And obviously he has injury issues, whatever else. But
listen, I'm just saying it could be absolutely fascinating. But I still think the Boston Celtics will get it together. And the reason why I think that is because I've seen them do this before. I've seen them do this before a couple of times. I've also seen them blow it before. But
I've seen them blow it.
I can't imagine the Celtics get knocked out in the first round with everybody on the court.
Listen,
that being said,
I've seen crazier things.
Crazier shit has happened. Yeah. But I firmly still, if I were to put a bet on it, I would bet on the Celtics. That's not what my hope is.
Obviously,
I love me chaos.
No, I feel you. This is obviously not going to stay very evergreen very long. But how do you feel about what could the Lakers seal a deal, or what do you?
They fucking better.
Do you think they're gonna?
They fucking better.
I think they're gonna lose, and it's gonna be a Game 7.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why would you do that?
I don't want it. I want Marcus Smart to make it through. I
also want to make this abundantly clear. Yes, I want my Lakers to make it through. I do think they're going to win this series, hopefully in Game 6. If it goes to Game 7, I will be on panic button mode.
Yeah.
That being said,
welcome to my life.
Does it fucking matter?
Yeah.
It's 4 games. You're giving me 4 more games, and I do say that very specifically.
It does
4 more games because the Oklahoma City Thunder will kill the Lakers in a way that maybe LeBron will fucking retire.
Okay, but think about it. Think about this. At least you'd get to see Marcus Smart fuck with Shea a little bit.
Okay, I would like
That's
that.
fun.
I would like that.
That's fun.
I want that. I want the Lakers to move forward. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's not even their fault. I won't even be mad at them if they get their asses swept.
No, how can you be mad?
This Oklahoma City team is so fucking stupid. The only team that I truly think can beat them is the Spurs. And the reason I say that is because we've seen it. That's the one team this year that's really given OKC a problem.
Season. Yeah, that's fair.
Will they do it in the playoffs? I do not fucking know. All I know is watching Wemby in some of these games and just what a difference maker he is on the court is just insane. Like I don't truly remember when he's going off on a roll. I just don't remember watching a guy that just like, yeah, there's nothing anyone can do. It
feels like the closest thing we've seen for our lifetime is Shaq.
Yeah. Like there's just nothing. If he has the ball there, there's just fucking nothing you can do.
Yeah. If he's rolling,
you're just wild.
Kind of screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild how he does it, and I look forward to seeing more of it. That being said, I would like Detroit to move forward, and I'll tell you why. Detroit basketball. I think the Pistons are cool.
Pistons are cool.
I think Cade Cunningham's an absolute star.
I like Pistons fans. I like Detroit sports fans.
Me too.
I'm kind of into them as a general vibe.
It's not that I don't love Angel Reese. I'm a fan of Angel Reese. Mm-hmm. But man, the shade she was throwing on their last loss to Orlando to Jalen.
Did she throw shade? Did I miss this? What happened?
Where were the fuck were you?
I must have been wrapped up in Klay Thompson stuff.
So Jalen gets dunked on really bad in that game.
Okay.
So after they lost the game, there was a screenshot of the dunk, the really brutal dunk on thing, and the score of the Detroit Pistons losing the game, and that was definitely posted on Angel Reese's Instagram that night multiple times. She was so
She posted it.
She posted it. She posted Jalen getting dunked on really hard.
I mean, wouldn't you if you were Angel, though?
I mean, Sure, I try not to throw my fucking dirty laundry out on social media, but you got to do what you got to do.
Is it? I mean, listen, he probably did something shady.
Yeah, probably. But listen, they're pro athletes. Listen, if we've not learned anything about people in this fucking industry and their sex lives, everybody is clearly fucking everybody. No one's faithful, and
nobody's safe.
No, everybody sucks in their private lives. It's their private lives. It's their right to suck. But everybody does, apparently.
Listen, I mean, I will say this. When you do that, I'm all for it. I'm all for doing that. If you're mad at your ex-boyfriend, you want to be petty, fine.
Yeah,
but when something happens to you in a game, when you get crossed up in a game, when you get, when
the me-bounds things start happening again,
well,
he's allowed to do it too.
The me-bounds are just her getting rebounds, so I'm not sure that's one. But let's say she gets her ankles broken or whatever, right?
Ooh, You mean figuratively?
Yes. In basketball terms.
I'm sorry. I'm seeing a lot of Achilles injuries lately, and that immediately made me like, oh no, I don't want that.
Let's say she breaks both her.
Let's say she gets hit by a train. Yeah, I don't want her to be hit by a train.
I was talking about basketball, Cody. This is a sports podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah. So then hey, then we're into fair game territory. How far you want to take this? So that's the fun part about two pro athletes.
I guess
so.
I guess so. I'm Team Megan the Stallion. That's all everybody knows.
Well, everybody on this podcast knows that. You made that quite clear.
She's Megan the Stallion.
Exactly. And I could not agree more. Might be the thing we've agreed on most in our entire
The greatest thing that ever happened to Houston Astros baseball.
Fair enough.
Google it.
Everybody knows how much I love Houston Astros baseball.
I hate Houston Astros baseball. Google it. It's the best thing that ever happened to them. Including their World Series.
Series is. Is that how it is?
Series?
World Series.
Nope. Not playing this game with you. Not doing this.
World Series.
Fucking refuse.
World Series.
I see what you're doing,
good.
And I don't like it. And I see where it's going, and I refuse. Let's get to the next headline. DK Metcalf has no punishment.
DK. So, do you remember what happened with DK over there?
I do remember what happened with DK Metcalf.
So, for anybody who doesn't remember, he he had a physical altercation where he kind of put his hands on a fan in the stands. This was in Detroit against the Lions.
It was not good. It was not good.
This was the second time he'd had this fan heckling him.
There was a history.
Potentially racial slurs. Mm-hmm. He had the first time he'd reported it to the stadium. He'd said hey, this fans here pointed him out, harassing me, whatever. They did nothing about it. The Lions did nothing about it. The NFL did nothing about it. Shows up a game again. The video was caught of this guy very clearly heckling DK. And DK went up and had enough and just kind of grabbed the guy by and did the whole thing, right? So in the video, you can tell the fan is absolutely psyched because he's got DK where he wants him. Mm-hmm. And then immediately here come the charges and the lawsuits, right? So criminal charges there are none. He will not face them. The prosecutor's office said that the fan did not appear to be injured, nor did he seek medical attention at the game. After an extensive review of the relevant evidence, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has determined that charges will not be issued in this case. This will very likely, they are going to continue with the civil lawsuit, which is probably what the fan wanted and wants money from DK in general. That's probably what this was always about.
Yes.
But my question for you.
Yes.
At this point, because I have a huge problem with people, and you can speak to only a small part of this, but at least more than your average white guy athlete, which is that I have a major problem with people asking athletes in any sort of minority group, but especially black athletes, to just take certain types of abuse from fans.
Yes.
I think we allow a lot of weird abuse from fans of players as if they are owed the ability to say anything that they want to players on the field who are there just purely because they're making money.
It's a massive problem. Social media has only made it worse. I would go a step further. Gambling legalization has made it immensely
really
worse.
Bad. Yeah.
And now I'll go a step further. All of the prediction market world has made it immensely worse. I can't stress enough that I would really like to get back to a time, and I apologize for how I'm saying this, but a fuck around and find out. You say your shit, you get your shit kicked in.
Yeah.
I don't. That fan listen. I normally would say I'm against violence. That I don't know what the hell's going on here. Fans have gotten really emboldened in a way that I've never seen.
One time is one thing, but he keeps showing up and heckling DK in those spots. And
listen,
I don't like that.
As much as you want to say, like, oh, get a thicker skin, I hear what you're saying, but also, like, dude, like,
also
lines are crossed.
Everybody who says that has never been like stalked or harassed or had certain things said to them, right? Like, it's like, a lot of, first of all, if you have never experienced any level of marginalization, definitely your voice just doesn't need to be here, right? And you're a white guy, but you're also Jewish, and there is a part of like your experience in baseball that was really, that was incredibly,
like a lot.
Right.
Which is a wild, because my last name's Decker, and for the most part, people don't know that I'm Jewish. But occasionally it happens.
Find out,
oh boy. Especially when you're in, say, the Texas League. Oh, they love Jews over all over small parts of Texas.
Right. And there's certain things that people can say to you that you're a human being. That you're just like, I'm sorry. You being the millionaire on the football field or the AAA baseball player on the diamond, it doesn't change the fact that someone just fucking harassed you.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was in Frisco, Texas. I had a group of drunk frat boys calling me and Nate Fryman a kike for an entire game.
Jesus Christ.
To the point where, like, I got into it with them. Like, they were luckily removed from their seat, but it took like 5 innings. Yeah. And that was a big problem for me. I went in their front office after the game and kind of yelled at them. Like, that happens. I'll go tweet about this if you guys like. If
like,
or you guys can fucking do something about it.
5 innings of racial slurs.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It was unbelievable.
And that, like,
they did apologize to me, and they did get him out of there, and we're all cool. But like at the time, I was fucking.
Well, you know what DK Metcalf got for his thing was a 2-game suspension, and so he appealed that suspension. So he's suspended 2 games for this. Now he had gone. That's what always bothered me about the suspension was that he had gone to
the
this
league
team
and
about
made
this
it
exact
abundantly
man.
Clear about this guy.
You get one warning. Hey, you guys better get this guy out of here. He better not be here harassing me another day. Next time he plays there. 2 years later, or a year later, or whatever it was, he's back.
Yep.
I told you. You didn't care. You didn't care. All right. And so for the league to suspend him really bothered me. I also, a lot of people, when this all happened, and I know this will absolutely drive you nuts, so I'm going to bring it up to you because I know it's going to piss you off as much as it pissed me off. And also, all that happened, I made a video about it and my thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And my thoughts about asking black players to absorb racial abuse from the stands as if it doesn't,
it's
whatever.
Not 1943.
And a lot of people said, well, I mean, what would Jackie Robinson would have done?
You got to be fucking kidding me.
He wouldn't have gone into the stands. And I remember I must have read maybe 4 or 5 of those comments of like Jackie Robinson wouldn't have done this. You have to have class. You have to have integrity, blah, blah, blah. Before I lost my fucking shit. Made a whole video fully breaking down just how brutal it was for Jackie Robinson.
It was the fact that he functioned.
His manager, how he went to that team and his manager practiced putting him through racial abuse so that he could practice keeping his cool while having things thrown at him, while having guys cleat him in the fucking ankles, while having racial abuse from the fucking stands. He would yell N-word slurs at him and he was like, I'm sorry, but you have to get used to how this is going to sound, because Jackie Robinson made a promise that if he went to the league, if this was going to happen, that he would keep the peace, because the other option was race riots.
Yeah, he had no choice.
This was not a world where like the other option was that his life was on the line. He later on in his life admitted that like turning the other cheek rather than being the kind of person he was in real life. By the way, before all this, he was a fuck around and find out guy. He was not a peace at all cost guy. He was a peace at all cost guy in the MLB because he had no other choice. And he knew if he blew it for the entire fucking Negro leagues, for anybody who was ever going to, any other black player. He knew it was all on him. And you know what it did? It fucking killed him. It killed him. Like he was... the internalized grief and anger that he lived with, he said, like, this has made me sick. He died younger than he should have.
Way younger than he should have.
When I hear about this stuff, and I think that we are now, 50, 60 years removed from this.
We're not much better than we were then.
And I think you're going to tell me DK Metcalf had, you know what? Jackie Robinson would have fucking loved to have been able to do that. I promise you that. He would not have been peace at all costs. If he were still alive today, right now.
Well, I don't know, but I would assume.
He said it. No.
Oh, he said that? Then I believe you.
Absolutely said it.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I've just never seen that quote, but I definitely believe you.
There's a whole book, and it's like really good. And I pulled this from like an article that was an in-depth thing of him where he legitimately was like, yeah, no, yeah.
Absolutely, if I could have,
would have beat the shit out of those motherfuckers.
Dude, and by the way, Jackie Robinson was a 4-sport athlete at UCLA, letter winner in all of them. He was a supreme athlete. And you know, what's funny is like baseball was his like 4th best sport.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing about it.
Yeah, and he was an okay Negro Leagues player.
That's the other thing. In the Negro Leagues, he was a run-of-the-mill player.
Pretty good.
He was good, but he wasn't
MVP.
He goes into the he goes
like,
on. And by the way, Shane Gillis does a great joke about that.
Yeah.
It's a great joke.
Yeah.
Where he's like, last time white people were cool, and then Jackie Robinson came in. He's like, he's facing old Curly. He's a 40-year-old alcoholic, and he's got his good spitball. And here's the pitch. Oh shit.
Okay then.
It's over.
We had a good run.
All right, well, let's get away from that. And honestly, normally Media Corner is a little more fun, but this one's not all that fun because, Jesus Christ, Media Corner number 1.
It's not good.
You know, we have been relatively pretty big, especially you, supporters of the Sanders family and all that they do, until Shiloh Sanders decides to open his mouth and say the stupidest shit. Now, I do disagree with Mary Kay Cabot and her assessment and her thought process on thinking that you should just give him QB1. And of course, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. She puts out a thing that he should be QB1, getting all the reps going right now and getting things going. Now, I personally disagree with said assessment, but that is it. That's where it ends. I disagree with that assessment, and I do not think he should be QB1. Shiloh Sanders, however, feels all the disrespect for his brother, and that's lovely. I appreciate you that you want to do something nice for your brother and defend your brother. Yep. But if your first thought is to say to Mary Kay Cabot out loud, go make a sandwich, dude, how you fucking lost the goddamn plot in a way that I'm assuming your brother had to have called you and be like, are you serious? I'm assuming your dad probably called you.
Well, I don't know because he doubled down.
Did he fucking really?
So
I haven't seen the double down.
I'll go through the double down with you. So essentially what happened was she wrote this article. He says, go make a sandwich because he's pissed that she's saying Deshaun Watson should be the starter. And here's the thing. Mary Kay Cabot is a beat writer, like an award-winning beat writer for the Browns.
Well-known
Very well-known. If you read Brown stuff, if you read national stuff, you've read Mary Kay Cabot, her reporting, whatever else. Do I think it's necessarily super appropriate as a beat reporter to decide that who you think should be the quarterback in OTAs? Not really. That rubs me the wrong way. This is not the first time Mary Kay has written stuff that rubs me the wrong way. I will say on the other flip side of that, that's beat reporting in all of these towns. There are beat reporters everywhere where I'm like, what is your deal here? They'll write stuff that I think is great. They'll break stories. They'll do the things. And then there's other times where I'm like, I don't know that you know your role in this whole thing. This is not exclusive to her in any capacity. Having said that, that does not matter. It doesn't matter whether you think she should have said it, whether you think she should have written it. There are critique her in literally any other way.
You could literally critique her thought process on this. Why do you think this?
By the way, you could just say, fuck you.
You could say fuck you. You could just say, I disagree.
But go make a sandwich I don't know. Everybody has to know at this point that that's like the most played out thing to say to any woman in a male dominated industry. Like it's the most played out thing you could possibly say. And here's the thing is like Shador has handled the media brilliantly.
Yes.
Like he has handled it so well. He has been so respectful. He's been smart. He's handled it so well. Even Dion has stepped back. He supports his son. He does what needs to be. He says what needs to be said when he feels like his son is being, and he puts out a little thing on social media. But it's always about how proud he is of Shador handling the critique and never an attack specifically on anybody. So that's clearly what Shador would prefer. So Shiloh, and I thought the same thing as you. I was like, they've got to tell him to shut up, right? Nope, doubles down. She defends herself. And he basically said, if you're going to be a reporter and report facts. Whenever you have your opinion and your opinion is always something hateful to Shador, then it makes it seem like it's something weird, like it's an agenda you have going on. Now, he went on about this for minutes at a time. So now he's made Shador an even bigger lightning rod, which he didn't fucking need.
Did not
Sexism
need that
enters the chat. And this is what I hate on both sides. Shiloh fell into a trap set by like the level of frustration of dealing with this kind of reporting time and time again.
Yes.
He fell into that trap and he let sexism win the day.
Wow.
He should not have done that. On the flip side, Mary Kay has fallen into this trap, which I think is a really huge issue with beat reporting, which is to start playing this game of
editorializing, giving your opinion.
Editorializing. Are you a columnist with media access where you're talking to because there are a lot of columnists who people don't even realize aren't beat reporters because they're there. They're in the press conferences. They're there maybe at practices, but they are not technically a reporter. They are there then to editorialize. And there can be some back and forth a little bit. But when you're in OTAs and you've declared who you think should, not who will. It's one thing to say, I think Deshaun Watson's going to win the job. It's another thing to say Deshaun Watson should get the job. I'm not a huge fan of this.
I'm agreeing with you on this. There is a gray area here. Now, I'm not necessarily up in arms about it.
No.
Because I understand the gray area.
But I would understand, and so I get why Shiloh was annoyed by that.
I do too.
I just do not, that response
he lost the argument out the gate,
immediately.
Though. Like,
you completely
you could have absolutely made a real case on what this
And by the way, the person who's hurt Shedeur the most now is you.
No question.
Because now Shedeur has to deal with your fucking bullshit.
And by the way, make no mistake, in a couple of months, we're going to somehow, not us, not me and you, but people are going to start remembering this differently. They're going to start remembering Shedeur being the one that said this, right. And he's going to somehow be tagged with this line that he had nothing to do with.
Which he had nothing to do with, and like now he's going to have to either damage control that behind the scenes or whatever else. And the fact of the matter is, it reveals yet again the fact that Shiloh went at Mary Kay specifically because this is not new.
No. There are other people that are saying this. She is not the
only one who has said Shedeur that Deshaun looks better in OTAs. Deshaun might be the one who should start. This is a conversation that's being had on sports radio among everybody else, whatever else.
It's all over the place.
So he went to Mary Kay. This is another. It's like I just told you, every single city has reporters, several, who play this game of a little bit of editorializing, a little bit of reporting, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, who don't quite know where to draw the line. And I actually don't have the biggest problem with it.
It's kind of the industry right now.
So just why is it in this specific situation, your issue, by the way, Shedeur's been dealing with this for over a calendar year. It goes to Mary Kay.
Tanya.
I know.
She has a vagina. And that's a huge problem.
Well, I mean, I've always thought that they were pretty useful, the vaginas.
They can be. They certainly can be. They serve a lot more. They serve more purposes than anything on my body. I know that.
I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's quite wild.
But it's just another. It's like, oh my god, of course, the day you decide to pop off, because it's funny because Shedeur, when he went to Tony Grossi, do you remember this? He went to Tony Grossi and after a game, I was like, hey man, like why are you always so negative with me? Like, what's your problem with me? And like, just calmly went to him and said that. And like, kind of like in this almost like charming way that threw Grossi off a little bit. It's funny because like since then I've seen a little bit of a change in the way he's talked about Shedeur. It's not completely different, but there has been a little bit of a shift. Shedeur handles his shit perfectly fine. Is it fair? No. Do I understand why you're defensive of him? Yes. If my sister were going through this, the shit that they put him through, I would be furious. But you absolutely cannot do this. And it's so frustrating when it's like, of course. Yes. Of course you came at the woman and
right out the gate. And
you know what? You know what, Cody? I will say this. Yes. If you're going to do a sexist insult, you got to come in hot. Give me something new. Give me something fresh. Give me something good.
Yeah.
I want to see some shit I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I want to see something that I'm like,
yeah, you can't be dropping Howard Stern lines from 1984.
You absolutely cannot.
It's beneath us.
I have been doing this for so long, and I keep waiting for a new sexist insult that's fresh and innovative.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Tanya. In the 1950s, the housewife was the standard of American living, and certain men really want that world to come back. And that's the joke.
Yeah, and they used to give us benzos for our troubles.
Hold on. That's the joke. See how great it is? Brilliant stuff. Amazing how we've really come full circle. Also, it reminds me of something because, it's so funny because, reporters who are trying to make a name of themselves when it comes to, or people in the industry make a name of themselves trying to just shit on other people. And, they truly forget that there's real lives on the other side of that. And it reminded me of a major leaguer. I won't say who it is. A good friend of mine who was a star major leaguer gave me a call once when I started working at Mad Dog Radio in Sirius. And he's just like, hey, dude, seriously, can you do me a favor? I'm like, yeah. Could you ask Chris Russo, what his fucking problem is with me. And I did ask him because I heard him do another thing, say something negative. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is your problem? And he's a friend of mine, and he's also a great dude and universally loved. And I just like, what's your problem with this guy? And his response was something along the lines of, and so I don't really know what his problem was.
You never got it. You never got a.
No, that's what he said. I just don't understand a word that comes out of that man's mouth.
Well,
that's how he talks.
Yeah.
That's literally how he talks in real life. It's quite fun. It's amazing he has listeners. Anyways, let's go over to another thing, because Stu Gotts, who is a good friend of Diana Russini in this story that seemingly doesn't want to completely end, but luckily seemingly is coming to its final conclusion.
This is actually a different, I will say, this is a different angle on the conversation.
Well, it got reworked earlier this week, obviously, because of the Spotify playlist that came out, and obviously we're going to make fun of that, as you should. But that being said, Stu Gotts, who has been a very staunch defender of her, as have we. And
Dan Le Batard guy.
Dan Le Batard. And he's also made it clear that he'll try to hire her if he gets the opportunity to do so. Mm-hmm. But he has been asked, and he goes on a very long tangent, not tangent, but a very fair tangent on why.
It was his first explanation of why he hasn't spoken specifically about this whole saga.
And his reasoning by it is very simple. She is a friend. They have spoken on the phone. They have had detailed conversations, and it's not his, as a friend of this person, it's not his job to go out and spew what a personal friend going through a personal life crisis to the people. That being said, also Stu Gotts freely admits into this, he is also not a journalist. And why is he being held at a journalistic standard that we simply don't hold any journalists at all? I'd also like to reiterate that. Why are we holding fucking Diana Russini to a journalistic standard that we have literally not held any journalists to at all in this entire country, whether it's sports or fucking life? I'll never get it. I'll never get it.
By the way,
it'll never make sense to me.
You know how I kept talking about the Adam Schefter story when we were going through all this? The Adam Schefter email with the GM?
Yes. Daddy, would you like to go ahead and put an edit to my story, Daddy?
You know, that was the exact same CBA negotiation during which they were colluding against the players that DeMaurice Smith just talked about. So just a little side note.
Oh, weird. But A.J. Brown wants to be a Patriot. So, everybody's fucking...
Here's the thing that I'm really confused about is there's so many people in the general public, people in who aren't in sports media, who are talking about this, who want everybody to be bloodthirsty toward Diana Russini for, by the way, fucking somebody else's husband while she was married. I don't care. Again.
Holy shit, I don't give a shit.
Still don't care. Also, in the real world, when people have real friends who have been, like, he talks about how they have been incredible friends to each other. She has been an incredible friend to him. He's felt supported by her. This is a person he loves and cares about. Mm-hmm. He said, what's funny is people are holding me to a standard that quite simply they've never held me to. I'm the court jester of sports radio for the last 20 years, and suddenly you have some sort of journalistic expectation for me. He said, this part was really fucking funny. He said, journalism died the day Michael Wilbon was covering the Cubs wearing a Cubs jersey. I'm sorry. It was really great. But the thing is, even if he were a journalist, and here's where I think things get tricky.
Yeah.
How does a journalist who is very close friends with Diana Russini cover that objectively?
Can't.
You can't. So why do people keep asking for it? Because you know what happens if somebody comes out, if he comes out and he says, I actually think Diana's great and I think she's innocent. You're not objective. Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't fucking say anything, gang.
By the way, him not saying anything about it might be the most journalistic integrity thing he's fucking done.
He's like, this is my friend. You're not going to hear me be unbiased.
And so people don't seem to understand this
and the
shit.
idea that I know you guys think that journalism means you don't form real relationships, I guess, but you fucking do. You form real relationships with the people you cover. Mm-hmm. You form real relationships with your sources. You form real relationships with other journalists because we're all human beings making a goddamn connection. And the fact of the matter is what people really fail to fucking take into consideration is that a lot of times they are more your coworkers than anybody on the planet. That journalism in and of itself can be a lonely space if you only ever consider that like everybody around you could like report back on you. Yeah. Like there has to be a level of trust, and you can't build trust without building relationships. There is zero reason why you should expect people's friends to turn their backs on them. I don't care if she's accused of murder. Stu Gotts has no fucking responsibility to come out and say shit about her to anybody.
Yeah.
Let alone something that's not even a crime.
Yes.
Why? the way people act like this, like she committed a crime, and this motherfucker, like this was by far, I think, the most integrity you could have handled it with. And there's a reason you're not hearing from a lot of journalists like who would have worked alongside her about this, because guess what? Everyone liked Diana.
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't, because she reported shitty stuff about AJ Brown. Oh no, like she's colluding with Mike Vrabel about, I don't fucking care.
No, real quick. It's pretty baffling. Oh my God, a wide receiver in the NFL is arrogant and wants out of their situation because they don't get enough touches. This is the most unique and groundbreaking story I've ever heard in my life, except every receiver on any team in the last 40 fucking years. My God, exhausted.
Vrabel started a rumor that a player who played for him might want to play for him again. It's really, I just think that there's a huge, really fascinating thing that there's no winning. The fans get bloodthirsty and they want you to turn on your friends.
Yeah.
But if you do turn on your friends, they call you a fucking traitor. They say you're biased. They, whatever. There's no winning in the court of public opinion when stuff like this happens. And I think, like, if I ever did something that got me sort of publicly canceled, and you got on this mic and were like, well, I've got to talk about Tanya, I'd be like, honestly, what the fuck? I would never talk to you again.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
I'd be like, why would you do that?
Like, talk to you, but like, yeah, I wouldn't go out and be like, well, now I gotta talk all my shit. My response is, she's going through a thing.
Yeah.
She's my friend. I care about her. And because she's my friend, even if she did, say you did something that I firmly disagree with, I can't be like, even if I disagree, and maybe I'll even throw in, and I do disagree, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's my friend. This is not, and I
it's the
cannot.
last you're gonna hear about it.
I can't honestly give you a truly real opinion on it because I'm involved. When there's the old saying, and in fact, it was one of my favorite Arrested Development jokes that they did, because there was a very famous Los Angeles Fox News broadcaster, for Fox 11 News, I should say, local broadcaster named Tom Beard. So Tom Beard was in the show a lot, Arrested Development. And he was, every time he was in the show, like there was a thing that happened at a restaurant that he was at. Tom Beard immediately gets up from his table. He's at a different table. He's like frantically, can't be part of the story, can't be part of the story, can't be part of the story. And he runs out of the restaurant.
That's right.
It's fucking hilarious. Once you're a part of the story and you have a semblance of your fingerprints or DNA on the story, you can't really report on the story.
No, and
not fairly, at least.
And if it is something that is unavoidable, where you do have to sort of like wade into the waters of something where you're unbiased, it should be over something that genuinely can't go unreported, right? Like if you had a personal relationship as a source, like let's say you were a friend of Aaron Hernandez, right? And you're in the media and you're like, whatever, I've got to talk about this now. That's because there's a double murder.
That's different.
I'm going to be honest. There's some stuff there that actually needs to be discussed. You reveal your potential conflict of interest, and then you do your best to do
somebody
what you can.
cheating on their spouse is simply not that. I don't have to say it's not criminal behavior.
Nor is, even if she was colluding for NFL information, none of it rises to the level of. Nope. Can you please like discuss your friend's life on your show?
No.
So I just think that's like something that's I think it's a byproduct, especially of social media. We all get very parasocial.
Yes. And
the parasocial idea of how, because people are kind of obsessed with the fact that Stu Gotts is friends with Diana, that, Mina's friends with all these people on TV, that like, who's Katie Nolan friends with, who's the women in these spaces and whose shows they're on and who they are close to. There becomes a parasocial thing for the men who are always clocking it to make sure that the women know what they're talking about. And for the women who are like parasocial as like friends.
You know what's funny about that? Like, the men in this industry, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I like respect like 5 people in this entire industry, like 5. That's it. Yeah. And every one of the people you love to watch, they're a fucking idiot and don't actually know anything.
Yeah.
They have no background. They probably went to Syracuse. Everyone at Syracuse gets fucking hired for some reason.
Syracuse and Northwestern. Yeah.
And sometimes Penn State for some reason.
Arizona State.
Yeah. Well, fucking anybody can get in Arizona State. Jesus Christ.
No, not the Cronkite School.
Okay. It's Arizona State.
Hate to break it to you, but
Arizona State.
hate to break it.
It's Arizona
hate
State.
to break it.
It's Arizona State.
Sorry, UCLA.
I sneezed.
They have a
Arizona
better
State.
journalism school than UCLA.
UCLA, slow down. The number one school in the entire world, and yes, that is the most admissions at any school on planet Earth, year in, year out. I believe that's 35 years running.
Most admissions?
No, I'm sorry. Most applications. I apologize.
Oh, I was like,
sorry, least admissions, I should say.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, most applications of any school in the world every single year.
You're saying their admission rate is lower than Harvard?
It depends. We get more applicants, so we have to turn more people away.
Oh, I'll be the judge of that.
Worldwide, too.
I'll be the judge of that when I Google it.
Worldwide, too.
I will say that's great, and I love that, but Arizona State's journalism
adorable.
school is better.
Arizona State, adorable.
It's better.
Adorable.
Sorry.
Sun Devils, Tempe. There's one thing that Arizona State usually leads, usually would lead the Pac-10 at least. I can't say this because I know Santa Barbara is also quite notorious, but STD rate's pretty high over there in Arizona State.
Yeah.
These are factual.
Listen, and the fake boobs rate.
That's just an Arizona thing. I don't blame specifically Arizona State for that one. I think it's
an Arizona State thing because it's not so much in Tucson.
No, it's not. You're right. Yeah, it's more of a Phoenix thing because I'll give you an example. I had a teammate that grew up in Scottsdale. He played with me at UCLA, and he said I've stolen it. I've said it so many times because it's exactly how I feel about Scottsdale and all of those areas in Phoenix. Because I'm like, hey, so what was it like growing up in Scottsdale? He's like, oh. More $35,000 millionaires in Scottsdale than any place on planet fucking Earth.
That's why I hate Phoenix.
He's like, it's the worst. He's like, it's the worst. I'm like, you're right. You go to a bar, every dude thinks they're sponsored by Tap Out and all this fucking.
I have.
It's like a Von Dutch commercial.
I will say the people watching at a Scottsdale bar, if you're having fun with it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Oh, it is so fun.
That could be fun.
Every single person there is the most self-important person. They think they're the main character. And you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna make you the main character in my story right now because I'm gonna watch you, and it's great.
I love it.
There's no better place for people to watch than Scottsdale, Arizona.
Absolutely.
If you're stuck in that hellhole, go do it.
I will freely. I know people love them some Phoenix and Scottsdale.
Well, you know how
but I want
made
you
my
to know
feelings clear.
why. My question is why. I hate that place.
Me too. I'm glad. If we ever just know if we ever end up there, if this podcast ever ends up on tour and we end up there, just know we are there under duress.
Yeah, dude. I protested harshly to drive through straight to Tucson. I wanted to go 2 hours. I wanted to go 2 hours further to Tucson. That's what I wanted.
We want to go to the more inconvenient place to get to.
Yes.
By the way, every time you go to Tucson from LA, you have to take like the world's smallest plane. Not great either.
I know. I
hate
know. I
those
played
tiny
AAA
planes.
baseball there, and I had to fly. Here was the worst part. When I played in Tucson, the amount of connectors I had to get into Phoenix was frustrating. It was like a 20-minute tiny puddle jumper to Phoenix to then fly to Salt Lake City. Oh, I hated it so much.
Yeah.
All right, let's get away from all of this, go over to Pop Culture Corner because, Tanya, congratulations. Welcome to the year 2003.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're finally watching The Wire.
So this has been like an ongoing thing. I would say.
Baltimore, baby.
Yeah, Baltimore. It's sort of one of the, when you have a blind spot happening in your life for so long that you almost get like anxiety about even doing it, so you never start it.
Yes.
I never watched The Wire when it was happening, and then there was like a whole rewatch time during COVID, and it never happened. And after that, I was almost like I started to become sort of a person who was like, I talk so much about sports. I talk so much about, especially since Lamar Jackson got really good. Like I built a huge Baltimore following on all my social media. And I was like, I started to get a little bit insecure and embarrassed about the fact that like I hadn't watched The Wire. And part of it was that I knew all the cultural references of the main characters and things like that. When you don't watch a show, but you know enough about.
Absolutely.
Like it's like a lot of people know Game of Thrones stuff, but they never watched it. That's how I felt about.
Like you know who Omar is.
I know who Omar and I knew who Avon and I knew who Stringer were because of like even Wallace, like because of their famous actors, whatever else, right? And so I knew all of that and I knew the memes. And so I just kept escaping me. And one day I was like, I need to watch I can't be in the world and not have watched The Wire. Like I've watched every other most important show of my lifetime. Like now I like got annoyed with myself. So I decided, I literally came out of the bathroom like one night and I was like, Chris, it's time to watch The Wire. And
he probably put his hands up. He's like, yes!
He literally was like, are you serious? Because he's been waiting for this moment. Like he's been like, when are we gonna watch The Wire? And part of the reason I've avoided it is because I'm incredibly sensitive. Like I cry at everything. And I'll cry at stuff. It is what it is. But like I am so sensitive, and the older I get, the worse it gets. So I avoid stuff that I know is going to make me emotional. And Chris was fair to me. He was like, it's not going to be an easy watch.
I'm telling you, The Wire, I thought was the first show that I watched. Nah, you know, that's not true. I think Oz did this first, which was also
Oz. I can't, I can't watch Oz.
Yeah.
I can't.
I feel like there are similar, different stories, obviously,
Yes,
but a similar aesthetic as far as difficulty to watch. But
Emotionally.
But I always thought, because I got more into The Wire than I did Oz, because
Right.
Oz was before The Wire, and I was a little younger.
And Oz is super violent so often.
Super violent, yeah. But Wire was the first show that I watched as a viewer where I'm like, no one on this show is safe.
Yeah.
Anyone will just be shot. In like a main character
And
will
I
just
wasn't,
be killed.
and
in
I wasn't
episode
prepared because I hadn't watched it. I wasn't prepared for Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
the Wire people would have been prepared for Game of Thrones. I was not.
So Red Wedding fucking
Yeah.
did a lot to you.
You were like, I've been, even Ned Starkitten got, right? So I'm through, I think I'm on episode 8 of season 2. So I'm almost, I'm like 2/3 of the way through season 2. And I went through the Wallace thing. I went through it. And so I went to Threads and I was like, guys, I'm halfway through season 2. And I'm pretty sure D'Angelo is about to get got and I am not good. And of course, like everybody's pumped. They're like, you're finally watching The Wire, and everybody was really, really awesome about it. Like a lot of people were commenting on it. Jamel Hill, who like she did a Wire rewatch podcast with
so good.
Van. She was like, we're here for you, girl. Like, and the fact of the matter is, this show is driving me nuts because I know enough to know that it's going to keep breaking my heart. So I don't have the like.
It's hard to binge. It's hard to binge. You can maybe do an episode a night.
Episode a night. Is it kind of, well, because like I really don't have time for more than that, quite honestly.
I know.
But like,
I still haven't watched the latest episode of Daredevil. I'm desperate.
It's brutal. But like, so we've been watching about an episode a night, and I knew D was getting got. I really liked D as a character, and I was getting more and more invested in him. I would go back and forth with him on season 1 because he made some stupid decisions. But when he what happened to the boy when he's talking about Wallace to Stringer Bell is like all these moments were really big to me. And I was like, this is like, I can see why this is so difficult. And so I post, I'm like, all he wanted to do, I post the gif of The Rock kicking everything over in the locker room, that like really famous gif. And like, all he wanted to do was work in the library and be out of the game. And everybody was like, if you think this is bad, you are so fucked.
Yeah, this is
there was a few little things they were throwing
This
in there.
be a real rough watch for you.
I was like, and the thing is, it's so crazy because as of right now, I don't have a ton of characters that I like that I'm like would be sad if they died. As of right now, right now, like who I really care about are Bubbles, because I mean D I cared about, and obviously Wallace or whatever. Like Bodhi and Poot can like literally die tomorrow, and I don't give a fuck. None of the cops, I don't give a fuck, except for Jimmy. But I like if Jimmy's not going to die anytime soon. But like I don't care about any of these people, but I know that's coming.
Will.
I know
you will.
I know that's coming.
That's what it does.
I care about them in terms of being interested in the storyline. But like
to be fair,
but if something happens to Bubbles, I'm calling out sick. If I watch it before, I'm just not coming in to the show.
Well, don't watch it before the show.
I'm not. Well, I'm just telling you, I don't know what my schedule can hold. And if Bubs dies and I have to come in, I'm not doing it.
I get it. Okay, we will talk about it when it comes up, or if it comes up. I don't want to tell you anything. I will tell you.
I love him.
Here's the thing. What show has affected you more than any other show, would you say? Like
emotionally.
Yeah. Like what show has like really kind of gotten
that like stuck in my gut?
There's a show. It is my favorite show, but I mean this from the bottom of your heart. There are episodes of this show that are so bad and unwatchable that like it could easily make somebody like rage switch the show. But the shows of episodes that are so good that it immediately makes me forgive those bad episodes.
Did you watch the whole show?
Oh yeah, I've watched every episode of this show.
Hold on. Can I guess?
Yes.
Is it The Shield?
It is not The Shield. Oh, The Shield was also another.
Because I know you love
watch.
The Shield.
The Shield's a great show.
Okay.
But man, like The Shield, especially the last season, it really becomes a tough watch. Because the last season, they actually lay it all out for you. You're still rooting for Vic Mackey. okay, we're going to fix this right now. And they lay out everything that he's did. And you just realize as they compile the things that he's done for the last 7 seasons, you're like, holy shit, this is the worst man alive.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's it's a great ending too.
But what were you saying? So it's not The Shield.
It's not The Shield. Although Shield is a top 20 show of all time.
Okay. What do you got?
Doctor Who.
Haven't watched.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
If you were to start watching Doctor Who, now this is a show that's been around since the 1960s.
There's a bunch. I know all about all the doctors.
So here's where this is how you start the show.
Okay.
It's very simple. You either start with one particular episode to see if you would like the vibe, because this is why I like this show.
I would like Doctor Who. I already know I would.
Because one week you'll have a sci-fi adventure.
I just binged Broadchurch.
Yeah.
Of course, I would like Doctor Who.
But here's the thing.
I love British shit.
Okay, but and you'll the first one episode might be a sci-fi adventure with some janky special effects, especially early on.
Yeah,
it's gotten a lot better as time's gone forward.
Yeah, of course.
Next episode might be just an episode in a church where the doctor's just
I love
trying
a
to save one
genre.
person.
This is very Black Mirror, where you get
very
different
much.
genres.
Next episode's a horror episode. Next episode, and it can be actual scary. Next one, and like when I'm telling you, each actor that plays the doctor brings something just completely new to it.
Favorite Doctor?
Oh boy! So everyone always mentions 2. If you're a real old school fan, they'll probably say the 4th Doctor.
And who's that?
It is Patrick Troughton was 3, number 4.
So it's not David Tennant?
No. David Tennant is most people's answer.
It is?
It's most people's answer.
Okay.
David Tennant plays the 10th Doctor and the 14th Doctor.
Oh, yes, because there was I know about this.
And it was phenomenal.
Okay.
I remember watching.
He was with the doctor, Matt, what's his name?
Matt Smith came after him.
Yes, but they came together.
That was a different thing. That was a completely different thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I might have to show you, Doctor. Okay, when the show gets rebooted in 2005, instead of when they say rebooted, it wasn't an actual. It was a continuation. It was a sequel.
Yeah.
But how they handled it, I thought was really smart. They basically spoon-fed you the previous 30, 40 years of continuity, episode to episode to episode. It's kind of giving you a real fresh start. And Christopher Eccleston played the role, and Christopher Eccleston was very good in the role, but he only is in the first season, so his exit is actually quite jarring.
Okay.
And then enter David Tennant, this young, handsome, suave, very charismatic young actor who just charms the living fucking pants out of everybody in the world.
Right.
He's phenomenal in this for like 4 seasons. It's great stuff. Then Matt Smith comes in. A youthful, different type of energy, and everyone fucking loves him. And the show hits new heights. Then my favorite comes in. Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
Oh, I know who Peter Capaldi is.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you because
Okay.
I just got 10 years of like youthful young doctors,
Sure.
and now I get this grumpier older
And after
guy.
that, was it Jodie? What's her name?
Jodie Whittaker,
Yeah.
who was very
Also
good.
in Broadchurch.
But you know what sucked? She was failed by the writing. The writing was a lackluster couple of seasons for her.
That sucks.
No, and also
Yeah.
same thing happened to the next Doctor.
She's a great actor.
Who is Ncuti Gatwa,
Yeah.
who is so fucking charming, and I was loving him as the Doctor. Failed by the writing a little bit. He should have had a lot more good stuff. But Peter Capaldi.
So you think that show, there's like emotionally gets like there's episodes that hit
There
you.
is an episode where the first 40 minutes of the episode is not great, but the final 15 is so good and so heart-wrenching. When I say that, like, it's David Tennant's final 15 minutes as the Doctor. When I say how it happens and what's happened, fucking just rips your goddamn chest out. I could understand when it reveals that Matt Smith is now here. You're like, no, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I don't give a, this ain't my Doctor. I want my Doctor back. And then you fall in love with Matt Smith very fast. Because he's fantastic.
A lot of times when I'm that emotional about a show, it's generally because I have like some sort of.
By the way, this is getting people going on Instagram. Eccleston Doctor Who is perfect start. Yeah, I agree. Eccleston's Doctor Who is a perfect way to start. Capaldi is probably this person's number 2.
Oh, all right.
Which tells me it's probably David Tennant. Which, by the way, I would like David Tennant to return to the role full time right now.
I mean, there's certain people who are made for certain roles.
He's made for that role.
He is a perfect type of actor.
If I had my way, honest to God, I would honestly bring back an old Doctor, and it would either be Tennant, even though I know we get Tennant back a lot, or bring back Matt Smith. Bring back one of those two.
Well, he's busy doing Dragons.
Yeah, because Peter Capaldi ain't coming back.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. I know Peter Capaldi has not been quiet about it.
Do you know that? We don't know things anymore.
He can't do it full time.
AI.
Listen.
No, I know.
Peter Capaldi was the older Doctor.
Yeah.
He is looking, looking older.
I I have found, so like, there are a lot of shows where I think that they have those moments for me. You know, one of my favorite shows of all time is Lost.
Yes.
And there are
What
like
show?
certainly like some of my favorite moments in television are Lost.
Desmond.
But there's one show that I watched that because, so I have a lifelong, like, or at least an adulthood long obsession with wrongful convictions and just a general disdain for like the carceral system. I'm basically a prison abolitionist. That's like something that's a much deeper conversation to have. I'm anti-death penalty.
I'm anti-death penalty
thing.
as well.
So like I have a really difficult, and I have all those thoughts about it. But part of it is because I have spent there's been a niche interest of mine on really learning just how brutal the system is, and what wrongful convictions and what we do to people who are rightfully convicted. I mean, anytime you watch a prison show, it gives you a lot of a sense of like real empathy for humanity that gets stripped from you in prison. And so I have anything that's a prison thing, which is why I can't watch Oz. But Rectify is a show that I watched one time. It was the greatest show I'd ever watched. It was like so moving and so well acted and so brutal and so difficult. And I never will watch it again because it was so upsetting and so beautifully acted and so like touching and so fucking hard for me to watch that I'll never watch it again. And also it was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. And it was not it was a very critically acclaimed show. It was one of the most critically acclaimed shows of the decade, but it wasn't highly watched. And if you ever need a show that's like, I think it's 3 seasons, that is just like start to finish a like beautifully told story, that's a show. But it is fucking brutal for anybody who is a deeply empathetic person.
Yeah. Listen, guys. It's been a fun show. We had a lot to talk about. Because we went over, we didn't get to the bloody sock, but we'll get to that on Tuesday. And listen,
can we make a truce? If the Celtics and the Bruins are both out of the playoffs by Tuesday, can we leave the bloody sock out of it?
Yeah, we'll just pretend Boston doesn't exist.
Can we pretend Boston doesn't exist?
You know what? There is no New England. There's only an old England, and that's it.
You know what I'm just realizing in the wide shot?
Yeah.
You are lit quite well in the wide shot.
It's the glasses.
Is that what it is?
It's the glasses.
It's emitting.
Yeah. It's a pop.
We're gonna keep working.
It's my hair extensions.
We're gonna keep working on this. I might get a stage director in here on the lighting, but regardless, we're gonna skip the bloody sock at least on Tuesday.
We are absolutely gonna skip
it.
Well, it depends on what happens to your teams, but yes.
Yeah, if the nuclear option happens and Boston is out of the playoffs across the board Tuesday,
I give you my word, but I do not give you my word that I will not say at the end of the show, fuck you, Curt Schilling.
Fuck you, Curt Schilling, forever.
We're the regulars. Come on, so close. You did it.